Alrighty, people. Thursday night football is upon us.
Yep.
And it is a very, very important day for Badaki and myself. I think the reality is we're both out of the playoffs in the Flock League, but there is a lot of players in tonight's matchup. I guess technically, one of us can go on a 3-game win streak.
No, I'm making the playoffs. I got to speak it to existence. Nobody believed in me. I was 0-6. I'm 4-7 now. I'm making it to the playoffs.
Yeah, love it.
I used to hope. I hope. I don't know. I doubt it.
There you go. He's making it to the playoffs. We're both 4-7, but there are 2 5-6 teams currently in the playoffs. So anything is possible. I think our points for are going to be a huge problem, unfortunately. But last year, a 6-8 team made the playoffs. So tonight is a big game because I have Woody Marks. That's really it. But Badaki's got a lot riding on Thursday night. You've got James Cook.
Yeah, I got Jimmy Cook, Shakira, Dalton Schultz. I'm contemplating of potentially sitting Shakira.
Okay.
But we'll wait and see. I might make a last-minute switch. I need to gut feeling, but we'll see.
Well, we appreciate you guys for being here with us. Obviously, big Thursday night game. A lot of fantasy players that are really important will be in tonight's games. Appreciate y'all for being here with us. Another week where don't know if Bucky Irving's going to be healthy or not. It seems like there's no real deadline to him returning. But now I know I can play Sean Tucker with confidence. Almost played him last week. In fact, there were 3 players that I wasn't sure if they were going to play or not. And if any of them had ended up sitting with their sickness, I would have ended up playing him. But you can't go back. Sean Tucker is obviously great to have, though. For ages, I was trying to trade for Rashad White from Avery. And his price just was never consistent. So I'm glad I never paid the price. But appreciate y'all for being here with us. We are going to do a giveaway. And as many of you guys know, if you want to enter today's giveaway, all you have to do is like the stream and type TNF into the chat. That's as simple as it gets. We are going to answer all the questions on the Flock site. And then if there are super chats, which we do see some, we will jump into those as well on YouTube. Just quickly, I guess this super chat I want to answer, and then we'll jump into the Flock site, obviously. It's just an interesting one because we both have these players. What do you think? Would you rather start Shakira or Woody tonight if you could choose one?
If I can choose one, I'm starting Woody.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm skeptical about Shakira is because, one, the matchup's terrible against the Texans secondary. 2, I just feel like the only Shakira without Keon Coleman, he's getting moved around way too much, and I hate that. And they just announced Keon Coleman's going to be another healthy scratch. So, but at the same time, I don't expect all these other players like the Shavers to go off again.
Yeah,
it's just not gonna happen. So maybe the game plan is just gonna be a little bit different. But at the end of the day, it's gonna be Woody Marks for me.
Yeah. So many running backs are going off against the Bills' rush defense. So the only problem is all those running backs typically had just competent offensive lines. The offensive line in Houston might be the worst offensive line we've seen for the last 5 to 10 years for a football team. So that's my only concern is if the Bills are going to get right defensively against any rushing defense, or against any rushing attack, it might be the Texans. But at least Woody's going to touch the ball more than Shakir. Okay, like we said, we'll answer super chats after we finish the questions on YouTube. Why don't we start with the first one?
Yeah, appreciate you here. Sending away Sam Darnold and Javonte Williams to get Aaron Rodgers, Chase Brown, and Amarion Hampton. This is a 2-quarterback, 12-team start 11. It makes sense. My initial thought is I don't want Aaron Rodgers at all, which sounds crazy. But I know this is a 2-quarterback. I guess the next question is, how's your running back room looking like? If you were to send away Javonte, you currently have Kyron Williams, Woody Marks. If you were to do this trade, you would have Chase Brown and Amarion Hampton now, and your other quarterback will be JJ and Drake. Look, I think this helps your team overall. I would say Chase Brown, especially getting Joe Burrow back, and Amarion Hampton should be coming back, I think, after the bye week, if I'm not mistaken. Which is next week. So you know what? After looking at your team, I'll take the Chase Brown and Marlon Hampton sign. The fact that you have JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. Yeah, I got no issues with doing that. My only concern about
Yeah.
Chase Brown is when Samaje Perine comes back, it might be more of a split backfield, but Joe Burrow should be back soon, so that's awesome. Maybe this week. John Mon, for you, if you're a Chase Brown owner, do you want Joe Burrow back this week, though? I know it sounds weird, but like the way Joe Flacco has been targeting Chase Brown. John Mon, for you, is sending away Warren and McConkey to get back Egbuka and Terry McLaurin.
I just don't think you can do this without looking at your team. Like, my initial thoughts is no.
Yeah.
I know Emeka has been great, but you're giving up two startable players for Emeka and Terry, who we don't even know is going to play, even when he comes back after the bye. So,
yeah,
I'm just going to keep Jalen Warren and Ladd McConkey.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about this. If you made this move, let's say we don't know if Bucky's playing this week or not, but let's assume he plays next week, which we assumed last week, but who knows at this point. If Bucky was able to be healthy, basically, you'd be able to start Dart or Baker, then Bucky, Gibbs, then Egbuka, Smith, Warren, and your last two flexes would probably be Kamara, Terry if he's healthy. Yeah, I don't think you can make this move, to be honest. Assuming Jalen Warren plays this week. If Jalen Warren doesn't play this week, then I don't think there's any harm in making the move, but I think this hurts your flex spot.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
Philly says Chase suspended, Mooney, Godwin, Yeshivas, Boutte. Well, literally, as we are reading this question, I got a notification that Chris Godwin was a full participation. Now, are we going to start him over these options? I think I'm still starting Yeshivas and Booty over Chris Godwin, just off the rip.
Yeah.
I just need to see it again with Chris Godwin. When he came back those past couple weeks, he wasn't like somebody you were going to rely on.
He didn't look like himself, for sure.
Yeah, only 5 points those 2 games. He did play, 75% plus of the snaps in those last 2 games. I think I need to wait and see what it looks like. So in order for me is Yeshivas, Booty. I would play Godwin over Mooney without Drake London still, I think.
Okay.
Because I think it would just be a rotation of other wide receivers, and Mooney just hasn't been himself in that offense personally. So
yeah, I'm just changing my rankings now for like the Tez Johnsons, the Godwins, and I do think it makes things really complicated. I don't know that you can start Tez with confidence now. Not that you really could before, but I just feel like he's not a playable name with Godwin back. You know, I know things were really bad for Mooney's first start with Kirk Cousins this year without Drake London, but I just feel like he's the safest name of all these names. He should be the unquestioned one, and I don't think we can say that for any of those other guys. So I probably lean Mooney, but it's not ideal.
Yeah.
Thick Summary says, which tight end do I pick up? Who should I drop so I can add a tight end? I'm currently first at 8-3. So starting Josh Allen, James Cook, Quinshon Judkins, Pickens, Egbuka. Yeah, so Gadsden obviously on bye. At your flex spots, you're going to be playing Breece Hall. Now, the question is, who does he drop?
Who's running backs? Yeah, I'm thinking the two people that came to mind was Dobbs or Charbonnet. I think you have enough wide receivers that one of these guys could get cut anyway, so you could just drop Dobbs.
Yeah, in an ideal world, you can package like Tracy Tracy and Breece, or Charbonnet and Breece, or Brian Thomas and Pearsall, and get some sort of upgrade so you free up a spot. But assuming you can't do that, I think probably Dobbs. That's tough.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would do.
And then we don't know what tight ends you have available to you. When you guys submit a question, your waiver wire, we don't have access to your waiver wire, but
I mean, best I can do is tell you who's available in the Flock League. David Njoku, Mason Taylor, Brock Wright,
David
Dawson
Njoku
Knox
didn't practice.
Yeah, he didn't practice today. So like Jonnu Smith, Not sure how deep your league is, but like if someone like I feel Johnson's available and AJ Barner, maybe you can take a swing on. That might be a bit risky. That's probably the only names I can really
Yeah,
offer to
Brenton
you.
Strange is back playing. Theo Johnson's a decent one, like you mentioned. Kate Otten against the Rams could be in a good spot. Juwan Johnson, that's a tough one.
You could do, yeah. All those guys are good. Hopefully that helps, man. Daniel 007 says Tet, CD, and Mika or Pittman. Who do I sit? Okay. Well, Jacoby, Chase, Kyron, CD, and Mika, Jawan, and Tet.
If Dart plays, you play him. Otherwise, Brissett's a great play.
Yeah.
And
I think the way you have it now currently is the way I would rock with it. I'm not gonna sit CD and Mika or Tet for Pittman.
Yeah. I would be curious if I could turn Pittman and Jawan into a better tight end, but yeah, I think this is how I would rock with it, Daniel. You've already got it, how we would rock with it. Daniel back here says, leave Woody and Gadget and Travion on the bench. So he's got Dart, as well as Swift, Judkins, Nico, Pickens, Kittle, and Higgins. Yeah, I'm not starting Woody Marks over these names. I wouldn't start Brian Thomas or Henderson's a tough one because
yeah, I think if Ramondre Stevenson doesn't play, which he's still questionable, or I guess he practiced in limited fashion. I think if we got that report already,
yeah,
I know he practiced throughout the week. I would start Henderson over Swift if Ramondre Stevenson is not in the game.
Yeah, if there's no Ramondre Stevenson, Henderson would probably be my highest ranked player that you own. So he would absolutely have to find his way into your lineup, and I think that would be in the place of.
For me, that would be I would be sitting Swift.
Yes, I would be
because
sitting
the Browns
Swift
play
as
the
well.
Raiders. Yeah, Ramondre Stevenson limited at practice again on Thursday, so I think all trends are indicating that he probably is going to play. So
yeah,
take
no,
that
I agree. Hopefully that's helpful, man. Appreciate you.
Sam.
Yep.
Says need help at flex. Our opponent is 9-2. I'm 11-0, and I would like to get number 1 seed with the win. All right, so Mahomes, Brock, Javonte, Taylor, Genty, Puka, George, Tet, Travis, Woody, and at the flex spots, I see Michael Wilson. I also see Christian Watson. Those are the first names that come to mind. Let me just double check. Debo's on a bye. I'm not starting the tight ends. Jalen Waddle is on a bye as well.
Debo on bye.
Drake London's injured. Yeah, so I think that's the best options, right? Michael Wilson and Christian Watson. I would have started Kareem Hunt if Pacheco was out, but it looks like Pacheco's back and he's been practicing at full. So
yeah. No, I agree.
Well, he was actually limited today, but he was full yesterday.
Which is strange, right? But no, I agree. I think it makes things more confusing for sure. So,
I would say for some reason if Pacheco doesn't play, I will start Kareem Hunt over Christian Watson, and I will still start Michael Wilson.
Yeah, exactly. Gavin says, well, let's start sit here. If Burrow plays, I'd play Burrow over Caleb and Daniel. I don't really love Daniel Jones against the Chiefs this week. But if there is no Joe Burrow, then I would say Caleb Williams would be your answer. At running back, they're going to go Genty, obviously, and then Derrick Henry. At wide receiver, you have quite a few options there. Rome Odunze. George Pickens. At tight end, I would go Goddard this week. Unless Godwin is not actually playing for whatever reason. And then in your flex spot, Alec Pierce, Wandale are two really good options. Emmanuel Wilson is probably the answer if there's no Josh Jacobs, but I think Alec Pierce is your upside play, so I'll go Alec Pierce there.
I would actually play Wandale. I would play Wandale over Alec Pierce with or without Jackson Dart if Jameson is playing. So
yeah.
That would probably be the difference.
All right, Mr. Noah has a review, which we'll get to when we finish these questions. Doc Moonlight starting Jacoby Brissett, Judkins, Kyron, Egbuka, Lamb, McBride, and then in their flex spot, they are considering Slayton, which, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think he's playing.
He was limited today, the
Okay.
first time for the week. So, for me, I guess your best option is Slayton.
Hmm.
Now, if Trey Benson plays, you start him, but it's gonna be Slayton for me out of all these guys.
Yeah, I can't remember. I looked at some report that was suggesting that they don't think he plays, but um, I don't know. I can't say for sure.
Hmm. Hmm.
Oh, that was just one of the doctors on Twitter said that they don't expect him to play. But yes, of course, if he plays, but if he doesn't, then I think Tootin's your best option.
Isaac Flo here says I'm looking at a playoff schedule only. Javonte Williams and Nico Collins for Saquon and Zay. Well, I think you also should be looking at production as well.
Yeah, I agree.
When it comes down to this, like I get Zay Flowers can have the best playoff schedule. He just hasn't been producing. So,
Yeah,
short answer, I still want Javonte and Nico.
100%. 100%. I understand the desire to have a good schedule in the playoffs, but I don't want to sacrifice the offense I'm a part of or the role of a certain player. And Javonte and Saquon are really a toss-up right now. I think if we're being honest, you don't know which week one's going to outscore the other. And then for these wide receivers, Nico and Zay, I think we very strongly prefer Nico, even in a bad matchup over Zay Flowers. It's just, even when the Ravens are playing well, that doesn't always mean that Zay needs to be involved, and that's the problem there. So, I definitely prefer the side that you are sending, and there's not really a counter here that makes sense in my mind. So, yeah, appreciate you, man. Max Ammo is next, sending away Tet and Chris Olave for James Cook. He has Josh Jacobs and Jaylen Warren. And his wide receivers would be Lamb, Higgins, A.J. Brown. That would be all he would have after this. So his starting lineup would be Drake May, James Cook, Josh Jacobs, CeeDee Lamb, T. Higgins, Kittle, and then he'd have 2 flex spots. And I guess that would be Warren, A.J. Brown.
Yeah, I'm just looking at his team. Like, I have James Cook. I love James Cook. I just think, like, if you were to get rid of Tet and Olave, you go from CeeDee Lamb to T. Higgins, and your flex aren't the strongest. I know you have these running backs. I would just rather keep Tet and Olave.
Yeah.
This is a start 8 as well. So,
what if you could send AJ instead of Tet? That might be interesting.
Right. So keeping Tet, sending away Chris Olave and AJ Brown, and getting James Cook, or are you trying to get something else? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get something else, great. If you can get something small in return, like a Downs or something, but I don't think you have to.
Yeah, my initial one is that I would just rather keep the wide receivers. I think I know Josh Jacobs might miss this week. I guess Josh Jacobs and Jaylen Warren might miss this week.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, there are other people in probably worse positions than you are with this running back room, to be fair. So, yeah.
Zebs, sending away Judkins, Bucky, Higgins for Derrick Henry and CeeDee Lamb. I guess this depends on where you are as a team right now, because honestly, I don't think it does. Because, like, at this point, like, Judkins and Higgins, are you really sure that Henry and Lamb will outscore Judkins and Higgins this week? I couldn't say that with certainty. I think you would bet on the Henry Lamb side of this, but Judkins and Higgins are healthy. I'm not saying this is like a free Bucky Irving, but I feel like it is undervaluing Bucky Irving when he's back, given his playoff schedule. So,
yeah, I agree.
I wouldn't really be that interested in this deal, to be honest. Wasp Hotel says RB heavy. I'm mid-table. I want to slam Wilson. I don't know. Well, we're going to start Lamar Jackson. At running back, we will go, wow. Oddly enough, I feel like Rico and Saquon. Then at
wide
receiver, Rice,
Emeka, Theo Johnson, and then you're starting.
I think you're flexing James Cook.
Yeah, so this in my mind, I had James, Saquon, and I put Rico on the flex. So you can flip that because James playing tonight.
Yep, sure. So put James in your starting
so
lineup.
We're on the same page there. Yeah. All right, next one here. Sending away Zay Flowers, getting Jalen, Xavier, and Cade Alton in redraft. I mean, I'll do this trade just to get Jalen Hurts. I
Yeah,
doubt this is possible, but
I yeah, I guess I don't see how you lose this deal. What would your
yeah.
receivers look like afterwards? Yeah, I don't think you'd be that impacted. So I'm fine to take the Jalen Hurts side of this.
Yeah, I completely
Who
agree.
has a really good playoff schedule. Close says, who should I start for week 12? He's got Jalen Hurts, Chase Brown at running back. We're going to go with the Swift Warren combo and Swift Chase Brown combo. Well, let's see the flexes in a second. At receiver, I would start McMillan over Adunze and Jefferson and Pierce. I don't know if that's crazy to say. We can have a conversation about it. I just love the matchup against the 49ers. 49ers are bleeding points to receivers. Of course, that means you would be relying on Bryce Young, so I understand why that would be not enticing. But, you know, Michael Wilson last week had 15 catches, 185 yards. You know, the Texans receivers without Nico Collins did well against this defense. And I just feel like this defense, you would hate it if the Panthers are up, but do you expect them to be up against the Panthers or against the Niners? I don't. So I would probably go Tet there over these other names, personally.
Yeah, I'm going Tet and Rome Dunze in the flex. For me,
Okay.
Over Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson playing the Packers. Secondary is pretty decent. I would rather just go with a team that I think can put up points. Bears versus Steelers. That's kind of where I'm at.
Yep. All right. Let's go to Sanjo Wall. Says, crazy to consider starting Brissett over Allen at quarterback. Going against JT Gibbs this week, need the W. All right. So at flex, what was the question again? Crazy to consider starting Brissett over Allen. I mean, you're not going to sit Josh Allen.
No, you're not.
No. I mean, we have a saying, keep it simple, stupid, KISS. I know it's a bad matchup, and sure, anything's possible, right? They don't play. This is what we have to emphasize so much in content. The game isn't played on paper. However, I would not sit Josh Allen. I just can't do that. I can't sit Josh Allen.
I completely agree.
Flex spot would probably be AJ Brown.
Probably Ricky.
Oh, okay.
For me, it would be Ricky.
Okay. Totally understand where you're coming from. I have more confidence in AJ Brown. I know that might sound strange, but he still had 12 targets last week. It's a really good matchup. 11 targets last week, excuse me. And Ricky Pearsall, on the other hand, is, just working himself back. I think he's going to be a good player, but just one target last week is concerning. So I would go with AJ there.
Yeah, which I understand. I think it's a bit of a risk on my end. Nightwing here, it says still okay to accept with HN on buy. Sending away Judkins, McMillan for Hampton and T.
I'm pretty indifferent on this, to be honest.
Me too. I think these guys are all fairly even. If we're going to be splitting hairs about things, I think it's probably going to go based off of strength of schedule, which is going to be the second half of that playoff season, or when you get to the playoffs, excuse me. So
I am worrying slightly about Judkins, just with these latest performances and what will Shador mean.
What Shador's mean, because he tends to pocket it a little bit more.
Yeah,
but I don't think that really matters if it's a run play, because Judkins hasn't been seeing crazy targets in the air, to be fair.
Yeah, I'm pretty indifferent on this, honestly. I think it's relatively fair value. The only reason I think you regret this is if what we saw last week from Ted is like the official breakout, for example, and now they're more confident to throw it. It was his career high in targets, career high in receptions, yards, touchdowns. So I don't know if that gives him more confidence to go out there and really force feed it to him or not. I think that's where you might regret things. But and the other part is, I mean, we don't know enough about Marion Hampton, really. We believe he's going to come back after the bye, but of course there's a possibility that he doesn't, and there's a possibility that Kamani Vidal is involved there. Also, his playoff schedule is not good at all outside of the. To be honest, I don't even know if Dallas is a smash matchup anymore. Ashton Genty had like 1.1 yards per carry against them the first day they had Quinn and Williams. That trade was really important to their defensive line. And that's the Raiders, so I don't know how much you can really extrapolate from that. But you know you have two terrible matchups, Kansas City and Houston. Those are terrible matchups for your running backs. And we don't know if Dallas is a good matchup. So there is some risk that you're assuming there. Overall, I just think it's a really even trade. I don't have a strong opinion on this one. Yeah. I think if you need to win this week, then you keep Judkins and McMillan. Like, if you're not locked into the playoffs, you keep those two. Joey says, my running backs... Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just agreeing with you. That's
okay, cool. Joey D says, my running backs are Cook, Woody, E-Man Wilson, and Monangai. We've been sending away Saquon for Rico. I'm not laughing because it's a dumb question. I'm laughing because it's a fair question, if that makes sense. Like, it's a fair question. That's how disappointing Saquon's been.
I just think, like, yeah, look, Saquon's definitely has been disappointing. I think it also depends on where you're at, right? If
Vegas,
you're somebody that's still, I guess the thing that is making me question it is that Rico still has this bye, and if you're somebody trying to make the playoffs, and that week 14 is going to be really crucial for you, then it's probably best for you to keep Saquon. That's the only thing that is coming up in this conversation for me. But like, I think overall, I don't mind taking Rico over Saquon.
Yeah. You know, the playoff schedule is actually pretty nice. He's got Vegas, Washington, Buffalo. Those are three matchups I am not scared of at all. Seattle in week 17 is a little scary for Rico. You're not worried about the other ones. It's closer than you think, but I agree. If you're struggling to make the playoffs right now, then I think you need to keep Saquon because of the bye week that's upcoming. Papa Marcus is sending away Burrow and Ferguson for Tyler Warren. And who is your quarterback currently? Josh Allen.
Yes, yeah, Josh Allen.
No problem with that then.
Yeah.
I like that.
Bush here. Quarterback position, I'll start Joe Burrow. If he doesn't play, I think for me it will still be Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
At the running back position, we're gonna go Bijan Robinson. We're gonna go Woody Marks.
Okay. I would probably still start Aaron Jones there personally.
That's fine. I'll go Lab McConkey there.
What if Sean Tuck? What if Bucky Irving doesn't play? I think that's an important conversation to have.
I guess it just depends on the flex maybe, and if that's gonna change anything. If Bucky Irving doesn't play, then yeah, Sean Tucker definitely moves up after what he did last week. With the report coming out, he's gonna get more opportunities. So yeah, I haven't changed that or really accounted for that in my rankings because I kind of just feel Bucky is gonna play. So
okay. All right. So just looking at you have to make some tough calls right now because, by the way, your wide receiver room is terrible. This week in particular, because you don't have Debo, Waddle, McConkey. So you have to start Pierce and Burden. That sucks. And then you have like these incredibly difficult decisions at flex and running back. Yeah, I think that's I'm more confident in Aaron Jones than Woody Marks. But if I knew that Bucky Irving was playing, I would be upset that I didn't play Woody Marks. I haven't gotten the feeling that Bucky's playing though.
I think maybe that's my feeling because I'm probably going against him. And if he right now, I think he's gonna play. And the report saying like he might be on the snap count. I don't know if you saw that report.
I did, but it didn't suggest to me that was this week.
No, and I think that's what I'm saying. If he was okay to play this week and he wants to ease himself back in, it can be this week that he gets a couple snaps. But at the same time, we've seen somebody be on a snap count before and then go off. So I think that's what makes it difficult. I don't think you have the time. I think the hard part is I don't think you have the time to know this. So unfortunately, I think you actually have to start Woody, and then Then if Bucky doesn't start, I would be okay to start Sean Tucker over Aaron Jones. That's how I'm seeing this.
Uh,
Knowing that Bucky won't play, with a report that Sean Tucker's going to get more snaps.
well, the report's also that Ken Walker's going to get more opportunities. So there's just so many. You have so many moving parts here.
Wasn't it like 5 weeks ago where they said Zach Charbonnet was getting more opportunity or something as well? I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah, I don't know. Head coach came out and said he deserves more opportunities. I don't know if they're going to actually do anything about it or not, but he does play Tennessee this week. Look, this is such a difficult one to navigate, to be honest. In one way, you could play it safe and play Woody and then just know you could put Jones in your flex. Technically, the matchup against the Rams is not good for Sean Tucker anyway. I guess that's where you lean. You have to make some really hard decisions. All I'll say is that if I knew Bucky Irving was out, I would play Sean Tucker over Woody Marks. But we don't have that information right now, so you have to operate off of what you have. Mike, and I'll just say, like, I haven't gotten any indication personally that Bucky Irving's playing this week. I more lean towards he's not playing. So there's two different opinions there. Michael, sending away Judkins and Rice for Achane seems like a pretty high price to pay. You would be starting May, Achane, Bijan.
No, I'm keeping this.
Adams, Egbuka, McBride, and then your last flex spot would be Diggs.
Yeah, you're really hurting your flex spot here, in my opinion.
I think a fair counter would be removing Rice from the equation and adding a Diggs, or even adding a Devontae Adams and receiving something small in return. For example, Ken Walker or you have Hampton, right? Yeah, so like you could get Vidal or Marks or Walker or something small, but I don't think you should send Rice and Judkins for HN.
Yeah, I agree. Appreciate you, Michael.
Mm-hmm.
Chill. Line up here at the flex options. Couple options. Well, technically it would be Bucky and then Reese if Bucky plays. Now, if Bucky doesn't play, I guess it was Sean Tucker then. Yeah, Sean Tucker.
But what if it's Kenneth Gainwell and no Jalen Warren?
Yeah, or no Josh Jacobs and Emmanuel Wilson. Look, these are a big what ifs. All right. I think we need to do a scenario here really quick. All these players don't play. Bucky doesn't play. Gainwell doesn't play, or Warren doesn't play, and Josh Jacobs doesn't play. What's the order for you then?
The order for me would be Gainwell first.
Mm-hmm.
Remind me who the Jets play?
The Jets play the Ravens.
I
so
think
Brees is automatic there.
I think it would be. Go ahead.
You know.
Yeah. I think it would be Gainwell and Brees for me.
Okay. I think Gainwell and Brees. I think for me this would be Sean Tucker.
Okay, and I understand that.
Brees.
That's a really
he can be utilized in the air as well, and I expect that game to be high scoring. I think that it's going to be going back and forth often, where I don't really know what's going to happen with that.
Tough one. Hopefully that helps. Yeah. Zebs says, "Hey guys, this is a new trade. Thank you for everything you've done. Went from 0-4 to 6-5. Love that.
Nice.
Sending away Bucky and Judkins for Derek and Marvin. Yeah, again, this all comes down to when Bucky plays. Like, if you knew he was playing this week or next week, you probably would not do the trade like this. But, of course, no one really knows the answer to that. So, hypothetically, I'm fine to take this trade if you need to win right now. And he's 6-5, so he probably still needs to get some wins in the bank.
Yeah, I understand. Well, Marvin doesn't help you because Marvin's been ruled out. So, it's not like... But I guess Bucky doesn't also out as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, I can understand it.
All right.
RoboCop.
That didn't go through, so let me refresh here. And we are getting through these questions. Appreciate y'all for being here with us. Again, if you're just joining us, then you might not have heard, but we do have a giveaway tonight. All you have to do to enter is like the stream and type TNF for Thursday Night Football.
Come on.
Zebs, we did answer this question. You can go back about 2 minutes into the stream to hear our answer in detail. Let's go to RoboCop here, starting Dart. Ward, yeah, I guess you have to. Walker, Judkins at wide receiver 2. This is going to be Brian Thomas of all the options that are available to you. Then in your flex spot,
Kenneth Gainwell if Charbonnet, or excuse me, Jalen Warren doesn't play. But if Jalen Warren doesn't play, I think for me it will be Zach Charbonnet.
I think I'm going Gainwell regardless.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can understand that as well.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Kyle, sending away Walker and Jameson for Lamar and Benson. We don't know when Benson's back. Might be this week, might be next week. Lamar is obviously a big upgrade for most people. Walker and Jameson could be 2 league winners that no one's, I guess Jameson now people are excited about, but what do you think?
I think 12 teams start 8. I think if you need, I don't really know, and you don't have your team linked. Look, this is what I'll say. 12 teams start 12 teams start 8. There should be enough quarterbacks on the waiver wires for you to manage. Rather than having Lamar, Jacoby Brissett, Trevor Lawrence, Bryce Young, Aaron Rodgers, Caleb Williams, Jordan Love is in the flock league. Waiver wires, might as well just keep Jameson and Walker because Jameson is technically quote unquote breaking out finally this year. So I would just rather keep it and then stream the quarterback position if possible.
I think it ultimately comes down to your team. So for example, if you have a ton of depth at running back and wide receiver and Walker and Jameson are never hitting your starting lineup, but you need a huge upgrade at running back or at quarterback with Lamar, then sure. But if you're in a position where most people are, where they probably would use Walker and Jameson in their flex weekly, then the answer would be no. LeBarnes, starting May, Gibbs, Taylor, Diggs, T-Mac, McBride, and Etienne. I am completely fine with this.
With this lineup, yeah, I am as well.
If Etienne, for whatever reason, doesn't play, then you go Jennings, but I think he will play. Ray, sending away James Cook and Michael Wilson for Bucky and Tetaroa McMillan. Well, look, I feel very strongly that when Marvin Harrison's back, Michael Wilson, I'm not going to say he's completely irrelevant, but I mean, I don't think he's a startable name when Marvin's back.
He's irrelevant.
He might get you 9 points. This all comes back to if you knew Bucky was back next week. If you knew Bucky was back next week, it would be an absolute no-brainer. If there's some world where Bucky is not playing for like another 4 weeks or something, then you would regret this move, So again, it comes down to information that we really don't have. But assuming Bucky plays at worst next week, then I would absolutely do this deal.
Pasta Bros, 18-man Chomp League, projected last every week, still here. Come on, please help keep the Cinderella story alive. Congratulations, David Montgomery or Sean Tucker.
Sean, if Bucky's not out there, if Bucky's out there, then Montgomery,
Monty, and then Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, no Drake London's definitely not awesome. I
just feel like I want to start Monty against the Giants over Kenneth Walker. Is that crazy to say?
I don't think it's crazy to say. I think it's risky.
They both have great matchups. I think that's the hard part.
Yeah.
Well, I guess in your scenario here, Pasta, you probably want Josh Jacobs to play. Am I wrong by saying that?
I don't know. You just shoot for the highest upside at every possible position. So
yeah. Hopefully that helps.
I think Monty's more of a safe play. Like he's definitely safer than Emmanuel, but Emmanuel could end up with 2 touchdowns or something. That sucks that you don't have London, and I feel that it's painful. It's so funny because last week I was like, oh, I can't wait to see my healthy lineup next week with Bucky and Drake London. It was like, no. Actually, yeah, you're not That's never going to happen this year. You're never going to see a healthy lineup.
Yeah.
Zeb says, hey guys, sorry for multiple, but last one here. You don't need to say sorry, brother, for supporting the show and getting advice. You do not need to say sorry. In fact, let's give you a free trade question voucher to come back. All right. Thanks for the love. Sending away Derrick Henry, Marvin, and CD for Javonte, Bucky, Garrett, and T. Higgins. Javonte and Henry's close to a wash. I prefer Javonte. I don't think Garrett plays this year. I think this is almost like Chris Olave situation in my mind.
He comes back week 14, hypothetically.
Earliest he can come back is 15.
Is it 15?
Yes, 14. Because he got injured week 10 versus Cleveland, then put on IR. So
you're right. So
11, 12, 13, 14. Earliest you can play him is in playoffs if he's back, and you don't know that. And do they have any reason to play him? It's almost Chris Olave last year. I think at minimum, you need to counter this by removing Marvin and Garrett from the equation and then deciding if you're comfortable sending Derrick and Lamb away for Javonte, Bucky, and T. Higgins. And again, it comes down to if Bucky Irving is playing out worse next week, it's a no-brainer. But we don't know the answer to that.
I mean, or you can just take away Garrett Wilson and T and just ask for Rasheed. Maybe that's too much. It's not enough, actually. But anyways.
You're saying Bucky? What do you mean? Sorry, remove.
Take away T and Garrett Wilson and just give me Rasheed Rice.
Right. That's probably not going to happen.
With the Marvin. But I'm saying like adding Marvin back to that. But even then, I think it might not be, it might not be enough.
Right. Well, those are some ideas you could explore. But again, you know, I know I'm a Bucky Irving guy. I don't have insider information on his return. If I did, I would have sold him a long time ago in the Flock League when I thought it was 1 to 2 weeks. Go Bears 99 says thoughts on quarterback and flex and tight end. I don't know if I trust Pitts. I'm gonna go Stafford this week. Where do you lean there?
Yeah, I'm there with Matthew Stafford.
And the tight end spot, Kyle Pitts or. Well, you don't have another option based off what you submitted.
You don't have another option. No, you don't.
And his flex spot.
I would wait to see if Josh Jacobs plays, and if he doesn't play, you have Michael Wilson.
Yeah, I agree.
I know Woody Marks is playing tonight, but I think you have enough options to.
Yeah, so sucks to not play Woody Marks, but there is risk in that as well. And ultimately, we'd like to play Josh Jacobs, and if Jacobs isn't healthy, Michael Wilson.
I agree.
YBAS_49ers 4-7, 4% chance to make the playoffs. Need to win out. Thank you. At quarterback, you start Mahomes. At running back, you start. Well, this is a little tricky here. Definitely Derrick Henry. Again, if no Stevenson, then Henderson. If Stevenson is out there, then you have a lot of options. And I think my favorite would be Chase for this week.
I would do Derrick Henry, Chase Brown
at the
wide receiver position. I'll play Mika. I'll play Mika Nico tonight still. Oh my gosh.
Warren or Bowers. Oh my gosh.
This is the 8-team league. Okay, that's why.
I'll probably trust Bowers more this week.
I would agree.
And then in the flex spot, it's McMillan for me if Stevenson plays. And if Stevenson doesn't play, it's Henderson.
Yeah, I'm there with you.
And then if Stevenson doesn't play, you play Henderson over Chase Brown, and you put Chase Brown in the flex.
Yeah, I agree.
Cram. And by the way, with those 8-team leagues, we're absolutely bound to get things wrong because you have so many options that are just must starts. Cram starting May, Gibbs, Henry. At receiver 2, Michael Wilson.
Agreed.
At flex.
This would be the running backs. So this would technically be Henderson.
Oh, I think you have to start Woody tonight without knowing.
Yeah, you might have to. I would agree.
So you got to start Woody tonight.
Yeah.
And then again, like just to explain that thought process, we don't know if Josh Jacobs is playing or not. So without knowing that, you don't have the convenience of waiting. You have to play Woody because you can't be in a situation where Josh Jacobs is a surprise play and then you have Emmanuel Wilson, you know. So that's how you're going to have to play it. Your What Hurts says running back room is killing me. Thursday Night Football. Woody hate Thursday Night Football starts. We do too. You know that as well, being a watcher of the show. But it really comes down to your flex. I don't think you have to start Woody here because you've got Aaron Jones, you've got Breece Hall.
Yeah.
Well,
so that's.
Yep, Gainwell is an option.
I think he has options, but
Warren
he doesn't have the
play.
backup. So yeah, if all of these guys starters play, your backup is technically Aaron Jones. So actually no, if all of these guys are out, Aaron Jones will be your backup. Does that make sense? Am I tripping there?
Yeah, I think regardless, he doesn't have to play Woody with the options of Jones, Breece, and McMillan over Woody there. So yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we're on the same page. We're just thinking about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Bang. Shout out to Mr. Bang. Quarterback. Start Drizzy,
Drake.
Chase, Jonathan, Tet, and Mika, Dalton Schultz, and I'm going to be starting Devontae Adams there at that flex spot.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, the next one here, Strange, says Chargers O-line trash, but don't know if it's a good return. You're sending away Hampton and Luther, getting away Waddle and Jake Ferguson. I guess my biggest question to you is, what's your running back room looking like here? You have Jahmyr Gibbs, Woody Marks, Kyron Williams. This wide receiver room, it's going to help your wide receiver room. You have Amon-Ra and Mika. You're going to have Waddle as a flex option. This is a start 8.
Yeah, so he'd be starting Lamar, Gibbs, Kyron, Amon-Ra, Egbuka, and then he'd be starting Jake, and then flexing Waddle, as well as Addison or Marks. I'm fine with this.
Yeah, I'm fine with this trade as well.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. Mr. Green is just trying to trade for Jetta's What Is Fair. He's sending away Benson and Jameson for Justin Jefferson. I mean, I don't know how you feel, but I'm not like jumping for joy to receive Justin Jefferson. I'm not saying this is a bad trade, but like,
yeah, there's plenty of risk baked in there, but it depends on his lineup. He's got a super flex league. And if he makes this trade, he's starting Drake May, Joe Burrow, Saquon, Henderson, or Bucky or Jacobs. He's got so much depth there. I think it just helps him make a lot of difficult decisions each week. So I'm fine to take Jefferson because I think right now with Jameson and Benson, you're just in a more difficult spot. You have so many options. Yeah. I think it just makes your decision weekly more clear. And obviously we can't say exactly how it will pan out for Jefferson. He has a good playoff schedule. Quarterback play is suffering, but it makes your decisions easier and you live with the results.
A Giant here sending away Woody, Jalen Waddle, and Trey McBride, getting George Pickens and Tyler Warren.
And James Cook.
I'll take the James Cook side. Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah,
James Cook,
we'll take James Cook there. NDR, Woody, Wilson, Judkins. I'm undecided on Naughton, Brock Wright, and Loveland are some waiver wire options. At running back, you are starting Judkins. At tight end, I think Otton's a fine play this week with that Rams matchup. It's a good matchup. And then in your flex spot, I'm probably starting Michael Wilson.
Yeah, this is going to be Michael Wilson for me over Woody.
Yeah.
So I think we're on the same page, which is great there. Sam says, need upside, have Browns defense and Aubrey at kicker. Matthew Stafford, Bucky Irving if he plays. If not, you're starting Tony Pollard, unfortunately.
I'm
at the tight end.
I might start Tootin over Tony.
Okay.
Just want to throw that out there. Just really no reason to trust Pollard at this point. You know, not that you can trust either, but I'd probably start Tootin there.
I definitely get that. At the tight end position, Henry, Kyle, Mark Andrews.
I'll go Kyle without London there.
Yeah. At the flex spots here, I see
Diggs,
DK Metcalf, and Stephon Diggs. That's where I'm going.
Would you start DK over Wandale? Because I think I am DK, but it's close.
I like Wandale, but I am starting DK.
Okay.
All right, next one, Manio here. Quarterback is going to be, for me, this is going to be Baker Mayfield this week over Matthew Stafford.
Okay.
Still.
I don't think that's crazy. I have them in the same tier.
Yeah, they're in the same tier for me as well.
I just prefer the weapons Stafford is throwing to at this very present moment. So
Yeah. At the flex option here, I guess it's going to have to be Woody Marks, unfortunately.
Alec Pierce is interesting though.
It is against the Chiefs. I think a lot of his upside comes with those deep passes. I think there's just going to
be available.
Exactly an elimination of that. So I would rather just if you even don't want to start Woody, then you have Kenneth Walker with the new talks and a good matchup with the Titans. But for me, it would just be Woody, which means you have to put him in your flex option,
which is fair.
Actually, it can actually help you because if Ramondre Stevenson plays and you have Travion Henderson, might as well start Woody and Walker. That can help.
I think I'd still start Stevenson or Henderson with the matchup, but I agree either way. Daniel, what's up, man? Travion, Swift, Woody, Judkins, pick 2. This would be Swift and Judkins. If there's no Stevenson, it would be Travion and Judkins. Close calls, though, all the way around. Daniel says Chase Brown tonight, matchup, or Ken Walker. Well, Chase Brown's not playing. Could that be someone else?
I would imagine it's Chase Brown, but I have no idea. If that's Chase Brown, I'm still starting Chase Brown over Kenneth Walker, personally.
Or unless he's saying, like, do I chase B tonight? Who is B? I don't know.
Yeah, no idea.
Yeah, we're going
to let us know, Daniel.
You
might be in the chat with us. Yeah.
Early Sunday, starting Lamar Jackson. Then we will go with Chase Brown and probably Woody Marks here without knowing Josh Jacobs. Oh, tough matchup for Chase. Chase Brown tonight. Oh, so you're gonna say tough matchup? I still go Chase Brown.
I still go Chase Brown
with
still going Chase.
The reception upside.
The Patriots,
all right, we're going Chase Brown here and Woody Marks, and then in the flex spot, Devonta Smith, right?
Devonta Smith.
Yeah.
All right, next one here. Okay, wow. A lot of flex options here. We'll talk about the flex. Let's go straight into that. Wow. I see Rome Odunze.
6 teams start 13. That's how you do it if you're in a small league.
Yeah, I see Rome Odunze. I see Tyler Warren. And I also see Breece Hall.
Aaron Jones.
Excuse me. I will go Breece Hall over Aaron, but I can understand it.
Okay, so your answer is Rome, Warren,
Tyler, and Breece.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Rowan 917 says start Wandale or Sean Tucker if Bucky is out. Might as well. It's a terrible matchup, but you might as well start Sean Tucker in that offense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what I think as well.
Like Wandale is going to give you a safe floor, but if Tucker's going to touch the ball 15 plus times, that's what it sounds like. Then might as well play him.
Yeah.
RamenGod.sr. They are sending away Burrow and Odunze for Stafford and Adams. Yeah, I got no problem with that.
Yeah, I'm okay with that as well. Getting a nice little stack there.
All right, let's
Girls love a deep ball.
Wow. They do, apparently.
Not with an S, just one.
Just one ball. At running back, you're going to go Breece Hall and Aaron Jones. At wide receiver, you're going to play George Pickens.
Devontae Adams. Look, you might be missing a flex. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, he's only got
4,
6.
5, 6. So then it will be George Pickens and Devontae Adams
in the flex.
In that flex. Yeah.
I will say if no Stevenson, you play Henderson over Aaron Jones. So you don't need to play Woody tonight. Dan Arcade says bench low upside, drop anyone, need wins, waivers, Hunter Henry, Dortch, Zonovan, Parker, Washington, Singletary ideas. None of those guys are upside stashes, but let's set the lineup first, which would be.
It's Josh Jacobs if he plays.
Josh Jacobs, Kamara,
yeah. But if Jalen Warren doesn't play, I'll start Kenneth Gainwell over Kamara.
Yep, agreed.
And then at the flex, probably still going to be one of those wide receivers or one of those running backs in Alvin Kamara or Walker or Gainwell, excuse me.
I think I put Ricky in there because it's a 10-team league. You need to shoot for upside. Yeah. And then, wow, I have no idea what this last one. You better hope that Warren doesn't play and Gainwell is the option. But if he does play, I have no idea. Truthfully, I have no idea between all these options. So many names. Where do you lean?
I agree. Like I would just start Gainwell, and you gotta hope for the best outcome for you. I'm not gonna start Chris Godwin. We're not gonna start Pacheco.
Yeah.
So you're just gonna have to start Gainwell, hoping that it's a 50-50 backfield split because, you know, they want to limit his workload.
None of those options on the waiver wire though are interesting to me. Unless you have a different opinion.
For me, actually, no. There's actually two. I would be interested in Greg Dortch and Singletary, but who are you dropping? I think that's the problem. I don't want to drop any of these people for those players.
Yep.
If I could start somebody, it would just probably be Singletary because of the usage in the goal line. I just know that the Giants. One thing you do know about the Giants that they will score, it just won't be nice. And Singletary in the red zone is the guy.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's probably about it.
All right. Jay's Fantasy says fair trade reloading for next year. They would send away Judkins and Wilson for Hampton and Marvin Harrison. It's a dynasty question. You know, the problem for me is Marvin Harrison. I have more confidence in the Judkins Wilson package than I do in Hampton Marvin. I'm not anti Marvin Harrison. It's just he's incredibly difficult to project.
I mean, I completely agree. I'm not a
Judkins and Garrett, yeah.
I'm not that I'm not a big Marvin guy. I'm just not sure if
there's no picks involved at all. I think you got to keep Judkins and Garrett there.
Yeah, I would agree. Keep that short.
Colo Wolo, sending away Emmanuel Wilson, Javonte Diggs. Emmanuel Wilson, Javonte Diggs for Saquon and Judkins.
Well, Emmanuel Wilson is just the one off, so let's just take that away. So it's Javonte Williams, Stephon Diggs for Saquon Barkley and Quinshon Judkins. What's your wide receiver room looking like? Because Diggs is probably a solid flex right now. Josh Allen, Breece Hall, Chase Brown. You would have Saquon and Judkins here. Your wide receivers are DK, Chris Olave. Start 7. Half of these guys are not even starting. I'm okay with Saquon and Judkins. Wide receiver room is really weak, though.
I guess it's like another question he's trying to throw in there at the top. Would you trade Judkins or Breece for Waddle after?
Judkins or Breece for Waddle?
They're both in the same tier. I don't have a strong opinion on that. But
I think at the end of the day, I still want Saquon and I still want Saquon and Judkins. I just think that you're not fixing your problem. Your real problem is a wide receiver. So maybe what you should do is send away Javonte Williams and Stephon Diggs and see what type of high caliber wide receiver
he can get Waddle back is what he's saying. For Judkins then. Yeah, I don't really care between Judkins or Breece. I don't have a strong opinion on those two names. If you're going to make that move, Judkins has Chicago, Buffalo, Pittsburgh. Breece has Jacksonville, New Orleans, New England. So probably I would send away Breece if you can do that for Waddle afterwards. But I'm with Badaki.
Which makes sense.
Peso says Mooney a must start. These options. Jacobs out at running back. We're going to start Jonathan Taylor in a tough matchup, but you got to start him. Quinshon Judkins at wide receiver.
Mika and CD. At the flex, I'm going both of the wide receivers and Jameson and Jordan Addison.
Okay. Yeah. I would probably start Emmanuel Wilson over Jordan Addison if I knew Jacobs wasn't playing. That's the only change.
I would agree. I would agree with you there, actually. Yeah. I would back that.
Wouldn't start Mooney with those options, by the way. Spanish Bucks starting Daniel Jones, James Cook, George Pickens, Tyler Warren, and in their flex spot, I mean, surely they've got more players to play because they say it's a start 7. They only submitted 5 options, though. So let's pretend like it's a start 7. It's Daniel Jones, James Cook, and Aaron Jones. Wide receivers would be George and Egbuka. You'd be starting Tyler Warren, and your last flex spot would be,
I guess, Bucky if he plays, and if not, Sean Tucker.
Yeah, exactly.
And if Josh Jacobs doesn't play,
I wouldn't change anything.
Wouldn't change it. Yeah, that's fair.
Bob says, what if Josh Jacobs and or Jalen Warren plays? We're gonna start Dak Prescott here.
What if Josh Jacobs and Jalen Warren plays?
I'm starting.
Well,
if there's no Stevenson, Henderson.
Yeah.
Regardless of if Jacob plays or not, but if Jacobs plays and there is Stevenson, then I would start Jacobs there. At your receiver spot, we're gonna go Addis. I'm gonna go Pierce personally.
I'm gonna go Addison this week.
I go Alec. I got a little more trust built with him over the last couple weeks. Hawkinson is not really your best option, I guess. And then at your flex spot, this is Henderson for me. Probably regardless of if Stevenson plays or not, but obviously if Stevenson doesn't play, you definitely play him.
Yeah.
And then if there is no Josh Jacobs and you're already playing Henderson, you'd flex Addison.
Yeah. Mike. Matthew Stafford or Dak Prescott. In my rankings and in my household, I'm starting Matthew Stafford this week over Dak Prescott.
Yeah, I agree, even though it's kind of crazy. QG Monster says, can y'all help me out? I love the content, bros. Appreciate you for being here. At running back, no Achan, so it's Bijan. And
then
Woody, if there's no... Look, I think you have to play Woody in this scenario because you don't know if Jacobs plays or if Warren plays.
Yeah, exactly. I'm there with you.
At receiver, JSN and Puka.
At tight end, Tyler Warren.
I think I'm going Kittle this week.
I think I'm going to go both tight ends, actually. I would go Tyler Warren and George Kittle. And the only person we can have a conversation about is probably Michael Wilson.
Yeah.
But I just trust those individual roles better than Michael Wilson, even though I know he had a crazy game. I mean, I don't think Jacoby Brissett is going to throw the ball, 60 times again?
Every time he's out there, he's throwing. But yeah, no, I agree that I wouldn't start him over these names. But in the event that Warren isn't out there, I'd probably play Gainwell in the flex. I don't think the same about Josh Jacobs and Emmanuel Wilson, though. All right.
Makes sense. Jay Dollar Sign. Sending away Travis Etienne and Richie Rich for Woody Marks and Jamar Chase. I would rather have Travis Etienne and Rashee Rice. I agree. Personally.
C3 Fly starting Hurts. You don't know if Jacobs is going to play, so you have to play Woody. I know that's hard to hear, but in your flex spot, yeah, you definitely have to play Woody because in your ideal world, Jacobs plays, and then your last flex is still not good, and you're playing Mooney. But if Jacobs isn't out there, then you're going to have to probably put Tootin in. And that's not fun.
I'm there with you. Tootin.
Jersey, starting at quarterback, Josh Allen. We're going to play Josh Allen at the flex spot. A lot of options that are all really must starts.
Okay, no. Sorry, this is family friendly.
I think Henderson, if there's no Stevenson, would be my top pick. But assuming Stevenson plays, it's a much more difficult decision. And I probably am going to go Jefferson.
Rome over Jefferson for me.
Okay.
I actually probably go Jefferson and Rome over Henderson if Stevenson plays.
Okay.
If Stevenson plays, I would agree with you. I would start Henderson over. For me, I would start over Justin Jefferson, and I would start Rome Odunze.
Okay, I'm going to take a different route there. I would go Jefferson and Chase Brown. But we're gonna make the wrong call. It's an 8-team league. All these guys should be starting. Henderson, Diggs, and Odunze. That's just the hard reality. This is why we told that previous person who had like a start 13, you have a start 8. If you're in a small league, you got to make the skill gap higher somehow by making it more difficult to field a lineup rather than having must sits or must starts on your bench every week. But that's obviously something you can propose next year to your league. Your what Hurts, starting Jalen Hurts, then I guess you don't have another option other than Devin Neal. I mean, is this really the best option? I highly doubt that's the best option on the waiver wire.
Yeah, look, waiver wire in the Flock League, 12 teams, and it was just Isaiah Davis, Michael Carter, Ty Johnson. you can take a swing on like
Nick
a
Chubb?
Rashad Mick. Yeah, Nick Chubb. Well, I mean,
Brian
you got to take a swing on
Robinson,
somebody else rather than who you have currently
Corum,
on your team.
any of the Titan running backs.
Yeah.
At wide receiver 2, we're going to start
Michael Wilson.
It probably is
Actually,
Michael Wilson, isn't it? I think so.
I think we might start him anyway for the flex option because I was considering DK. So this would be yeah, we're gonna start him anyway. So it'll be DK and Alec in the flex and Michael Wilson obviously in that wide receiver 2 spot. So we're on the same page, I think.
Staunch Donkey says wide receiver room is in shambles. Too many running backs. Who do I start? At running back 1, it is Chase Brown. At running back 2, for me, it's Warren. If Warren doesn't play, it's Aaron Jones. At wide receiver, you're going to start Wandale and I guess Dobbs.
I'm starting Dobbs over Cherry, yeah.
At tight end, you have to start Fannin, and in your last flex spot, you would start.
I guess you kind of have to start Woody then. So you put Woody.
I don't think so, right? Because he has. Well, I guess you don't know if Jalen Warren's going to play.
Jalen Warren's play, so you will still have the option. So yeah, I think you have to start Woody. So we'll put Woody in the RB2 spot, and then if Jalen Warren plays, I would start him over Aaron Jones. Unless we're just going to say we're going to start Aaron Jones over Woody regardless. Now, I would still start Marks over Woody, I think. Sorry, I would still start Marks over Aaron Jones, excuse me.
All right, so we're going to start Woody Marks anyway, and then play Aaron Jones in the flex, assuming Warren's not out there. But if Warren's out there, you can play him.
Play him over.
By the way, exactly. Montgomery's a much better option than Neal. You're what hurts, so that's great.
Okay,
your lineup
awesome.
looks a lot better than D4MW starting Dak Prescott at running back 1. This is Judkins for me this week. At wide receiver 2, I would go Diggs personally.
Yeah, I'm there with you over.
In the flex,
DK.
I know Genty's been really rough, but we're going to go Genty there. He's getting targeted in the air, on the ground, yeah.
Yeah,
appreciate you, man.
That's a crazy one.
We've got a couple more here, and then we're going to get to these super chats.
At the running back position here for Spanish is going to be Bucky if he plays. If Bucky doesn't play, this would be.
I'd probably play.
Would be technically Sean Tucker over Aaron Jones and Emmanuel Wilson.
Yeah,
I think the rest is fine.
Yeah,
if I'm looking at
your
it,
team's
right,
pretty good, honestly. So it's just that one running back spot you have a tough time with. Look, yeah, it's not like Aaron Jones has a great matchup, so
yeah,
we're gonna go one of the whoever starts for the Bucks there. D4MW says my second league. Thank you guys. Starting Bijan, and then I don't think you can sit Derrick Henry this week against the Jets. At wide receiver 2, I'm gonna go McMillan, and then in your flex spot, you've got Judkins, Chase, Thomas, Olave. My gosh, I dream to have these guys on my bench, but I think Chase Brown is who I have the highest there, so that's where I would lean.
Yeah, I'm there with you.
Probably going to make a wrong decision there with all the options you've got, honestly. Okay, we've got some super chats that we can get to before this team review. Houdini Weenie, I think, or actually, is it I think it's Samuel. No, we've already answered Samuel. So Houdini Weenie, I think, is next.
Activity. I mean, it's not loading on the back. And Josh Allen versus Houston or Drake May. Look, we're still going to start Josh Allen. At least I am going to start Josh Allen. Over Drake May, which I think it's a fair question.
Yeah.
Josh Allen.
Yeah, I can't sit him.
I know multiple people I would imagine in the community would have Drake May over Josh Allen this week, just based off of that secondary, based off of who the Patriots are playing in the Bengals in that secondary. But I'm still going to start Josh Allen.
Honestly, I do think Drake May's safer, but Josh is just transcendent, so I get that's a difficult question. So I understand either way you go. If you want to play it safe and you don't want to, do the whole Thursday night thing, I have no problem going Drake May. Honestly, the bigger problem is that you have two options that you have to choose between every week. So you should definitely trade one of those guys for a big return to improve your starting lineup somehow. I think Eddie J is the next one.
Yeah, it says, hey guys, Cook or Dowdle, standard thanks. If it's standard, it's Rico Dowdle. He gets more touches specifically on the ground over James Cook, I would imagine. I can double check that for you, but
yeah, I would go Dowdle just regardless. I don't like the matchup for Cook, even though he's a must start.
Yeah, I would agree.
All right, I think those are all the super chats. Appreciate y'all for being here with us. Again, we are going to do a giveaway. We could probably do that now. All you have to do to enter is like today's stream and type TNF into the chat. I just realized that I had the giveaway set to the Dynasty channel. So none of your entries have counted so far.
Oh gosh. They're gonna be upset.
Let me redo that here. Okay, let's try this again. You got it from here on out. Now you're gonna enter. All you have to do is like the stream and type TNF. So the people who are here with us live are gonna have a really good shot, because right now there's one entry and this is about to pile up 6 entries. I apologize. All right. We did the Dynasty stream yesterday, and that's a great segue to say, if you are a Dynasty football player, it's a good time to go out and subscribe there. So definitely go subscribe to Dynastyland Football if you have yet to do so. All right, 18 entries. Should we do the team review first now to give people a chance?
Yeah, let's do the team review first.
Well, we have a super. Let's answer the super message and then we'll get to the giveaway.
Yeah, we can do that here. Okay, let's get the super message here. I
forgot to add flex. Pick 2: Woody, Kamara, Dobbs, Addison. This would be Woody and Addison for me.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Which means, Mike, as you know, you probably should put Woody in your RB spot for Thursday night. But yeah, Kamara, I don't really know what to think. Apparently he's still suffering from that ankle injury as well. I didn't get the version of him that had 14 points. I didn't get that version all year except for one time. So maybe I traded him away at the wrong time, and maybe my team is toxic in the Flock League, and that was the issue. But that offense is not good. They're not effective and efficient on the ground. So, yeah, it's toughy, but hopefully that helps, Mike. Appreciate you, man. All right, we now have 21 entries, and again, I apologize, but whoever is here with us is going to have a great chance.
Good luck, guys. Good luck.
All right, so the winner for the start sit is going to be, we have the username Daniel Whitmore. Shout out to you, man. And then we've got a trade question voucher we're going to give away as well. And the trade question voucher goes to, let's see, and the ME goes to Matt Ark. And to those 2 people who just won, all you need to do is DM me on Discord. There's my username. Tell me your Flock Fantasy username and send me a screenshot of your YouTube account. And if you don't have a Flock Fantasy username yet, create one, but make sure you use the promo code LAND for a free account when you sign up. That way I can find you on the back end. Okay, we've got enough time to get to this team review, and then we'll see if any other questions come through the site. So Mr. Noah is about to get his team reviewed. Of course, anybody out there who gets a team review with Fantasyland also gets what we call the team playbook, which is a customized breakdown of your team. You can get that by using the promo code LAND and becoming an annual Mother Flocker member. That will give you a voucher you can use through the Flock store. Or you can buy one a la carte if you're a member of a different promo code already. Completely up to you. So that is an option to you guys. But let's go ahead and jump into Mr. Noah.
Yeah, appreciate you. Says, first year managing, trying to find a route to win as the Rook. All teams in the leagues making the playoffs regardless of schedule. Wow, looking for guidance on what moves to make over the next few weeks to be ready to win, to come play off time.
I just want to say, firstly, there's no way that rule can exist beyond this year. All right. If this is a newer league, or even if it's a veteran league, I don't mind if you need to send them this time code. A league that exists where everybody make the playoffs does not at all equate to reality. All right. There's not everybody can win in life. There are plenty of losers. Badaki and I are losers this year in the Flock League. Okay.
Not yet. I'm believing.
So I don't want to be a part of a team that says you had a terrible year, but don't worry, you're still going to be in the playoffs. The regular season has to mean something. So the guy who's 1-10, for example, can go into the playoffs and somehow ridiculously, the regular season means nothing at that point. And yeah, they'll talk about buys and seeding and all that stuff, but come on, man, you can't have more than 6 people making the playoffs. Even 6 is generous in a 10-teamer. So you got to make that change. All right, you got to make it change. Anyway.
When it comes down to your team here, you're currently ranked 4th out of 10. And the Village People's your team named Drake May, Jackson Dart, Bo Nix, Joe Burrow. Phenomenal quarterback room. This is only one quarterback, so you can definitely make some room here. Running back Saquon, Omarion,
his name is the Village People. I'm looking at the wrong team then. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the Village People.
Yeah.
Wide receivers: Drake London, Tet, Alec, Ricky Dobbs with Tyler Warren and Jake Ferguson. Instant untradables. Drake May, Tyler Warren. I will put those guys in untradables. I would also say Drake London. You can put as untradeable the way he's been playing the second half of the season, but I know he's been injured.
Kirk Cousins he has to deal with. So
yeah, so we gotta wait and see what that looks like.
I don't think he's going to be as bad as people are suggesting with Kirk Cousins, but
yeah, I would agree. When it comes down to people you can pick up, I think the name that I see here is Alvin Kamara or Tyrone Tracy if you really wanted to. And
I was going to suggest Sean Tucker.
Yeah, we can do that as well.
Yeah.
They can be a bunch of people because there's a lot of guys here on your waiver wire. This is a really strong waiver wire, I would say.
Yeah.
But you can drop easily a name like Bo Nix.
Yep.
Today because you're never going to start him over Drake May, Jackson Dart. That's probably the only one I can see dropping. I guess you can drop a name like Romeo Dobbs, but I want to keep him just in case London injuries is lingering a little bit longer and Ricky doesn't really step up there. But because you're going to have to start 2 wide receivers. So right now you're this week specifically Drake May, Saquon Barkley with Travion Henderson, hypothetically. Then you have Tet and then Alec Pierce as your wide receiver 2. Tyler Warren, and then I guess it's either Woody or Jake Ferguson. So other than that, I think this team is really good. I'll say this like a B+, A- type of team. That I am seeing here. I think you can definitely consolidate. Yeah,
I think there's still a world that exists where Bucky is not available for a long time. I mean, yeah, sure. Maybe he plays this week. Maybe he doesn't come back until week 16. I don't think anyone knows, honestly. Like, I don't think anyone really knows the answer. So I think Sean Tucker is a must roster. And I would 100% agree that you can drop Bo Nix. And honestly, in an ideal world, we can make multiple 2-for-1 trades because there's so many players in the waiver wire that are worth picking up. And maybe I am just heartless at this point because I've dealt with the Bucky injury the entire year. And maybe I have no heart anymore. Maybe I'm the Grinch. I'll look at that friend request in a second, Matt, after the stream. I got you. Don't worry. I'll hit accept for sure. What I'd love to do with this team is do a bunch of 2-for-1s and utilize the waiver wire, kind of get rid of some of the difficult decisions. I agree with you. A- I think is appropriate. For this team. So that's what we're going to go with. But I think we try. It's a 10-team league, and I doubt anybody needs quarterback. But I'd love to package Dart with Hampton or Pierce. And if it's not possible to do an upgrade with a quarterback, then maybe we package, depending on what Woody does tonight, like Woody and Pierce together.
Yeah, which makes sense.
So let's just first off see if any teams actually need quarterback. The guy at the top who's ranked 8th, that quarterback has Dak. I'm imagining no team's going to... Honestly, the Caleb Williams and Jordan Love guy, I think if he's honest with his roster, he's probably like, I don't have someone I'm confident in. Jordan Love is not reliable.
Yeah, he's not right now.
Neither is Caleb. So I wonder if you could send him Dart and Hampton. Would you do it for... Hold on, let me just think this through for a second. If you lost... Okay, you do need a running back in return if you use Hampton. Would you do that for Rico?
Yes.
Maybe maybe you could get something back, but that's not really what we want to do.
I would want to try and get a wide receiver in this one because of how weak his wide...
Yeah, well, Jamar Chase is perfect. If everybody makes a playoffs, Jamar Chase is perfect. The Alec Pierce trade. In fact, you could probably make it stronger than Alec Pierce. I don't want to give Ted or London up. So
just to cover the bases, if London is not back immediately, let's just say it's more than more 2 to 3 weeks type of situation, at least he can have him in the playoffs.
Honestly,
worse.
If you can't use Dart, I wouldn't even mind using Drake May to make sure you get a Jamar Chase on your team. So
you have plenty, and then Joe Burrow's coming back as well, so I can understand that.
That'll might not work for this specific idea because we want to clear up some space. You could do Henderson. What about a Henderson and Alec Pierce for Chase deal as well?
A Henderson and Alec Pierce for who?
Chase.
Jamar Chase. Yeah, that could potentially work.
The only issue is your league says everybody gets into the playoffs. Don't worry, guys. You don't have to make tough decisions right now. Because right now Avery is thinking he has to trade Jamar Chase, but your league isn't in that situation. Anyway, who else might need quarterback? The guy called Florida Man. Perfect. This is absolutely perfect. You send him Dart and Alec Pierce, and you get either Rice or Egbuka. That is genuinely perfect.
Yeah, I think that's
it was Egbuka and who?
I just clicked away from the guy's team because I was looking at other players.
Egbuka and Rice. So either one, I prefer Rice, but either one is fine. I don't think he has a running back that you could... Yeah, there's no running back you could really trade for there. But that's perfect. That actually makes sense for him, too. Okay, I don't think any other team needs quarterback. Maybe the guy who has Jaden, Daniel, and Brock. I mean, maybe he'd be more comfortable, but he's not going to give you a Monra, I don't think, with all those options.
That's what I thought as well. It's just there's no one else there on his team that... The guy that has Kyler and Aaron Rodgers.
Well,
that's the guy we just talked about. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably about it, honestly.
Those are your options, but if you can, so probably Hampton isn't an option. But if you can package Marks and Pierce, is there a team that desperately needs depth? Marks and Pierce. Yeah, that guy has Pittman. That's not going to work. Marks and Pierce for... Devonta's not the player I want back. Marks and Pierce for Adams.
Yeah.
I'm fine with.
Yeah.
Most of these guys don't have a huge need because your league is 10 teams, but the guy who has Trey Tucker as his RB, as his wide receiver 2, what if you could get James Cook from him? What if you did the Hampton?
It's crazy how this guy is 7-4. What has this guy been doing?
Yeah, this league is crazy, honestly.
Jonathan Taylor, Bijan, James Cook. I mean, to be fair, he's probably did enough there. He didn't have to start another wide receiver. My man was winning games. Which is crazy.
I think those are a lot of ideas there for you, man. But again, ideally, first off, you drop Bo Nix. Let's be real. He's not valuable anymore, and his playoff schedule's terrible. And then you instantly, in my opinion, pick up Sean Tucker. And then ideally you do a couple 2-for-1 trades, and then you can go pick up a bunch of these names, the Kamaras, the Tyrones, Rodriguez's, the maybe Chris Godwin, Luther Burden, those type of names. So appreciate you, man. Thanks for letting us look at the team.
Yeah, we appreciate you, Mr. Nash. Thank you so much for the support. You're going to be receiving your playbook here within 48 to 72 hours on the Flock Fantasy message system. All you have to do is go to the advice tab, then click on message. That's where you're going to be seeing your customized playbook with everything that we drew up here for you today. Thank you so much for that support.
Yeah.
And did we get more questions on the site here?
Nope.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Why don't we go ahead and answer 5 questions at random to end today's stream?
Yeah.
I just
5
accepted
questions
Matt's trade so he
at
can
random.
send me some friend request so you can send me some information over there on Discord.
Nice. Congrats, brother.
All right, let's answer 5 questions at random here, and we'll start off with August, who says start Jaden Higgins or Ricky Pearsall. Yeah, this is an impossible one to answer. I would lean Pearsall myself.
Yeah, I would agree. Slick
Okay.
Ricky.
Let's see. Would you start Nico Collins or T. Higgins? I'd probably start Nico Collins, but both are must starts.
Yeah.
Ballroom says, "Hey guys,
You know what? I would actually start. Sorry, I would actually start T. Higgins if Joe Burrow plays. That's what I would say.
Okay.
Joe Burrow doesn't play. I would slightly lean Nico, but obviously you have, 10 minutes to figure that out, which you're
I
not
think
going to know.
in most situations I agree. Just Flacco's been basically Joe Burrow anyway. So
Yeah.
Traded Rome and Javonte for Jefferson. What do you think? I think you massively overpaid, Ballroom. Big overpay. Would have loved to help you out there on the site before you made the deal, but I don't think I'd send Javonte for Justin Jefferson alone, personally.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm sorry. That's probably not what you wanted to hear. Let's do 2 more here. Why don't you pick them?
2 more here. Okay. This is that one's pretty easy. How about Miami Heat all day?
Okay.
Michael Wilson or Zay Flowers this week for my wide receiver spot? I'm gonna start Michael Wilson.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
Yeah,
Zay Flowers is premium packaged Wan'Dale Robinson or Khalil Shakir at this point. All right, last one. You pick the name.
Last one here. I guess we're gonna scroll up, see if we can find somebody.
They might not even be here.
Yeah, they might not. Okay, we'll go to the next one here. Daniel says start 2 out of the 3. JJ, J-Mo, Devonta Smith. This will probably be most likely Justin Jefferson and Jameson Williams.
Okay, and I understand that. I probably would sit J-Mo there. Just love the matchup for Devonta Smith, but it's a tough call. It really is. Guys, appreciate you watching the video. Tons of content for this week already on the channel, so go check it out and have a good Thursday night football. I hope whatever you need to happen happens for you. And I just want to directly speak to Khalil Shakir, Dalton Schultz, and James Cook. I rebuke you.
Have a great game. Have a great game.
I rebuke you. And
you know what, boys? Just do your thing.
I'd appreciate if you combined for 15 points. That'd be awesome. Thanks.
There's no pressure on me. They already counted me out.
There's no pressure on either of us. It really doesn't matter. All right, guys. Thanks. See you later.